Welcome to Wildly Capable with Kate, a podcast made for those looking to unleash their wildest capabilities. I'm your host, Kate DeRocher, a dating, relationship, and self-worth coach on a mission to help people build better relationships, starting with the one they have with themselves. In each episode, we'll dig deep, turn inwards, and embark on a transformative journey. Together, we'll break free from unhealthy patterns, rip through self-limiting beliefs, heal past wounds, and build unwavering self-worth, all to create healthier relationships as a result. Get ready to explore the wild, untapped potential within you. Are you ready to see just how wildly capable you are? Subscribe now and join us on this empowering adventure. Remember, your wildest capabilities await. This podcast episode is to the girl who won't let go. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Wildly Capable with Kate. As you know, I'm your host, Kate DeRocher, and I'm a dating, relationship, and self-worth coach who's on a mission to help you build better relationships, starting first with the one that you have with yourself. As I was thinking through what episodes I wanted to film next, what topics I wanted to talk about in this podcast, there was one that just kept coming up for me. And this topic kept coming up for me because I have numerous clients, I've had numerous clients, and even in my own life, I have seen how hard it is to let go of the person or a relationship that is not meant for you. So this podcast is for anybody out there, any woman or man, it can go for men too, who is having a hard time leaving that relationship, who's having a hard time saying enough is enough, I deserve better, who's having a hard time ending things and walking away once and for all. This is for you. This episode is also for anybody who's experienced that in the past. Maybe you got out of the bad relationship and maybe you're healing from it now. Maybe you're getting over the emotions of confusion and betrayal and just not being able to trust yourself and leave that situation. This is also for you. I decided to film this episode because, well, I'm basically talking to my younger self. I have been you. I have been in your shoes. I have been in relationships where I knew it was not right, where I knew I deserved more, where I knew I was being mistreated, and yet for some reason I just could not walk away. And it was terrible. And I know how awful that is and how you break your own heart every single day as you continue to stay. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but it's true. Every time you don't leave and he does something that hurts you, every time you forgive him, every time you justify his behaviors, you betray yourself more and more. And that's a really hard thing to do because in the end, you lose that person and most importantly, you lose yourself. So I want to talk to you today. I want to talk to anybody out there who's struggling with this, who knows that it's time to cut cords, but just can't do it, who keeps hanging on, keeps waiting for the person to change. This is for you. I'm talking to you. So listen up. Before I keep going, I want to tell you all about an amazing women's retreat that I'm hosting this Labor Day weekend in Texas. From August 30th through September 2nd, me and 10 other incredible women are getting together for 3 days worth of growth and healing and adventure. We're going to go horseback riding. We're going to do yoga, sound bath, cold plunge. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. We have so many activities planned and so many workshops where I'm going to teach you about building better relationships, where I'm going to help you learn how to develop your self-worth, where I'm going to teach you how to step into your wild woman. A wild woman is somebody who knows and owns her power and uses it for good. So if that sounds like you, if you're ready to embrace that side of you, if you're ready to unleash your wildest capabilities, then join me for the Wildly Capable Women's Retreat this Labor Day weekend. And just by listening to this podcast, you get a special 10% off discount. So head to my website, CoachKateDeRocher.com, use the word retreat at checkout, and I will see you this Labor Day weekend. I would love to have you all join me for the Wildly Capable Women's Retreat. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be at an amazing Airbnb. So head to my website, sign up now, and I'll see you there. Okay, back to the episode. So, ladies, I know I'm talking to so many of you, so many more of you than I wish I was talking to. And I know that because I have been you, and I have been you more than once. I have been in the situation where I wanted to leave. I knew I needed to leave, but I couldn't. I couldn't let go. And some of those situations were beyond just being the wrong fit. Some of those situations were truly, genuinely unhealthy, toxic, abusive. And if that's you, if you're not just in the wrong relationship, but you're also in an abusive relationship, one that is hurting your health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, any type of health, if that's you, I want you to know that it is 10 times harder to leave. I believe it takes a woman an average of 6 or 7 times before she finally leaves an abusive relationship. And people say all the time, well, if it's abusive, why doesn't she just walk away? Like, why doesn't the person just get out? Can't they see what's going on? Are they that stupid? Are they that blind? And the answer is, of course not. Of course you're not in that situation because you're stupid. Of course you're not in that situation because you can't see what's going on. I know you see. I know you are not ignoring these things. I know they are evident and you've experienced the pain that come with that person's abuse. But because you are being abused, because you're being manipulated and your words and your actions are getting twisted back on you and your sense of reality is slipping away further and further and further, getting out is so hard. And a lot of times what happens, and I know speaking from my own experience, is you kind of leave, you call things off, but then they come back and they reel you back in and you end up in the same situation. And 3, 6 months, a year down the road, you're still there. You're still in that back and forth and that up and down with that person where you leave and you come back and you give them another chance and you believe that they're going to change. I know. And it's awful and it's hurtful. It damages your self-worth. It damages your identity. It damages the way you view other people and men and the world in general around you. It's really, really hard. But you're not doing it because you're weak. You're not doing it because you're dumb. You're doing it because you're being abused. So I want to get that out of the way right off the bat, because there is a difference between just leaving a relationship that's not the right fit for you and leaving a relationship where you are being abused. That is extremely challenging. It takes everything out of you. And if that is you, if you know you need to leave, if you know you're on your 4th, 5th time and enough is enough, you can do it. You are capable of it. Yes, it may take every ounce of your energy and every ounce of your strength, but you will get out of that situation and you will rebuild. You will heal. You will be safe and you will come out the other end. So even though it feels impossible right now, I want you to dig deep. I know it is within you. I know that strength and that courage and that bravery is inside of you. So dig into that woman. Dig deep into you and find that source and leave and stay gone. Do not let them come back and use their cunning words to manipulate you into staying again. Do not let them convince you that they are going to change and that they're going to do better this time. So you give them one more chance. You know that one more chance will be another 5 chances. You know it because they won't change. Like I said in another podcast episode, it takes a person wanting to change for themselves instead of for another person before they're actually going to. So if they say that they're going to change for you in the relationship, they may want to mean it, but they can't just yet until they take ownership for themselves and they do it for themselves. So don't listen. Don't trust that. Only trust actions, not words. It is time to leave. It is time to stop believing the manipulation and the lies and their sweet, amazing, cunning words. Trust your gut. And I know that your gut is screaming at you. I know it is begging for you to leave. So trust that inner voice. You are the only person that you need to be listening to, not them, not anybody else who doesn't understand the situation, you and you alone. And I know that your inner voice is telling you it's time to go. It's time to pack those bags. It's time to leave that apartment. It's time to get out. If I am talking to you, please, I know you have the strength. I know it is inside of you. So look at yourself in the mirror, give yourself a little pep talk, dig deep into your strength, into your core, into your spirit and your soul, and leave. and leave once and for all. You can do it. And for those of you who maybe aren't in an abusive relationship, but you know that the relationship it's not your person. You know, he's not the one. You know that there's something off, or you know that you're settling, or you know that there's an element that is unhealthy that maybe will never change. It's also time for you to leave. If you have given that relationship a true and fair shot, if you have worked on yourself internally, if you've done your part to mend the relationship, if you've done your part to make it a great relationship, and it still is just lackluster, it's unfulfilling, you feel like you're at a dead end, you and that person don't have what you're looking for, then leave. Leave, because there is somebody out there for you who will make you feel so safe and so loved and so like yourself, who will light you on fire to be a better person, who will help you to grow. That person exists for every single one of us. And it will take us saying no to the wrong person before we can open ourselves up to saying yes to the right person. And I'm not talking about relationships where they're good and they're healthy, but maybe there's just some things that need to be worked through. If that's you, if you haven't done the work, then this doesn't pertain to you. My note to you, my thoughts for you are that it's time to lean in more. It's time to fight for this relationship. It's time to work on the things within yourself that are causing the relationship to be difficult or just not as beautiful as it could be. People leave relationships, healthy relationships, too soon. And they give up and they believe that there is always better around the corner. And this message, this podcast is not for that category of people, for that category of relationship. This podcast episode is to the girl who knows she needs to leave because it is either unhealthy or just not the right fit, and she refuses. She can't. I know you. I've seen you a million times. I've been you a million times. I have so many clients struggling with the same thing. I've had many, many clients in the past who've been there too, where they know it is not right. They've tried their best. Things aren't changing. The toxic behaviors that are hurting them just aren't going away. The person's promising them something different, but it's just not happening. That's who this is for. Not for the person who needs to stop being avoidant and who needs to lean into conflict more. This is for the person who has done that and done her best, who has dug deep, but hasn't seen anything change or heal. This is for you. It's time to walk away. And I know it is so hard to walk away. And I know that this message may also pertain to somebody who has left the relationship or who has been forced to leave the relationship because the other person ended things, but who just can't let go of that person, who can't let go of that relationship. This is also for you. It takes a lot of bravery and a lot of trust to finally let go, to finally release, to finally trust that there's something else better for you on the way. It takes a lot within a person to be able to do that. But just because it takes a lot doesn't mean that it's not possible. If I've done it, and if millions upon millions of women before you have done it, you can do it too. That person who mistreated you, that person who ended things out of the blue, who blindsided you, who gave you no explanation, who made you feel like it was your fault, that person is not your husband. That person is not your soulmate. Your soulmate, your person, your future husband will not leave you feeling like a shell of yourself, will not leave you completely desolate and broken. That's not your person. Yes, there will be hiccups. There will be times where things get hard. I even went through a breakup in my own relationship, but we came back stronger and better and healthier. If you've been left or you've been broken up with, or you're just in a relationship that you know isn't right, that's not your person. Your person will make you feel safe and secure, loved, seen, heard. Your person will be willing to work on things with you. It will not just be you fighting for things. It will be a team effort. And yes, there may be times, there may be weeks and days, even months, where he's the strong one and you're the one who's kind of confused and not sure what to do, or where you may have to be the rock. Yes, that will happen. But overall, the majority of the time, it is two people working together to create a healthy and good relationship, to create a beautiful life, and to grow together. That is the right relationship for you. And that exists for you. I think so often we have a hard time moving on and letting go because we believe that what I just talked about doesn't exist for us. We have a hard time moving on because we believe that there is not better out there. We believe that what we have in front of us is the best that we're going to get. And if you are in an unhealthy situation, then I promise you that that is not the best you're going to get. That is not all you deserve. That is not all you were created for. It is time to move on. It is time to pick yourself up and say, I trust God. I trust that there is something better out there coming for me. I trust that there is more in this life that I was made for. Let go. Move on. Deal with the pain and the heartbreak. Let yourself grieve. Let yourself feel every single part of it. Remember, you need to feel to heal, but don't turn back. Don't look over your shoulder and think, well, what if we try again? What if he really does change this time? He's not going to change. All those empty promises, that's the truth. Lean into that. Remember that. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated again. Do not allow yourself to fall back into the trap of this dead-end relationship again. You were created for better. You were created for more. And while you may not believe it, even just being single and not in an unhealthy relationship is better than being in a relationship that is unhealthy or a dead end or not right. Being with yourself, being in solitude is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And once you do find your person, once you are married, I promise you will probably wish you had more of that time with yourself back. So stop trying to run from it right now and just embrace it. Let yourself be alone. Let yourself even be a little bit lonely instead of being in the wrong relationship, instead of being in an unhealthy relationship. You will thank yourself. You will trust yourself more if you choose that, even if it feels really hard. Choose your heart. I say this all the time. You can either choose to be lonely and kind of in the depths of things right now, but not with the wrong person. That's hard, yes. Or you can choose something much harder down the line, which is staying with the wrong person, staying in the wrong relationship, and looking back on your life and having so many regrets, wishing that you had found that strength that is inside of you and left when you knew you needed to leave. Choose your hard. Do you want the temporary hard of being single? Or do you want the potential permanent, damaging hard of hanging on for the rest of your life to a person who mistreats you, to a person who is not right for you? Choose your hard. I promise you that the first one will be much easier in the end. And the last thing I'll say is if you are in the process of leaving that bad relationship, if you know you need to, but you are just so scared for the future ahead, for the healing it's going to take to repair the damage that came with that relationship and with that breakup. First of all, I see you. I know how painful a breakup is. It is just gut-wrenching. It's pretty much one of the worst experiences a human can go through. But you will come out the other side. You will heal. Yes, it will take time and it will take a lot of tears, but it will not be forever. It will not be how you feel for the rest of your life. Those difficult emotions will not last forever. They will last for a period, and it will be hard, and it will take you crying in your bed and journaling all the time and just asking why did this happen? Why did I let this relationship happen? Why did he break up with me? There will be a lot of questions and confusion and hurt, but you will feel it, and you will feel it for a little while, but then you will release it, and you will move on to something healthier and better. Don't rob yourself of that. Don't say no to your future because you are so scared of going through a period of hardness. Go through that period. Walk through it. Let yourself feel it all. But allow yourself the chance to come out the other side and to build something better and more beautiful and healthier. Because it exists and it is waiting for you. So to the girl who won't let go, please re-listen to this podcast over and over if you have to. Listen to it time and time again until you find that strength to release, to leave, to walk away, to move on. Listen to this over and over until you have what it takes to finally say, I know that there is more out there for me. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. I know that you were created for something so magnificent. And even if you can't believe that for yourself right now, keep replaying that last sentence until you believe it. Let me be the person who tells you so until you actually feel it in your core too. Eventually you will. And you will believe that. You will believe there's more for you. every single time that you choose yourself, every single time you say no to something that is not meant for you and you say yes to the possibility of something that is, you'll get there. But you just have to start doing the hard thing, which is walking away, which is moving on, which is grieving and processing and healing. You just have to start leaning into that discomfort so you won't face the permanent, forever, long-lasting discomfort of being in an unhealthy situation. I believe in you. You can do it. If this resonated with you, if you are ready to try, if you're ready to move on, if you are a girl who just can't let go, but you know you need to, then shoot me a DM and let's get on a coaching call and let's talk about this, because I've been there. I understand. I have hung on to the worst possible people in the worst possible relationships. Go listen to my most recent last podcast episode. It's all about my story. I talk about numerous different relationships, and there are many more that I even didn't mention where I had the hardest time letting go. And I stayed with just terrible, unhealthy people and just awful situations. I stayed in them. I stayed with that person because I was so scared of the unknown of the future. But I did it. I eventually walked away. I eventually left, and I eventually built a really beautiful life. You know, I have a partner who loves me, who makes me feel safe, who cares for me. I have the things that I have been praying for and dreaming of since I was like 12 years old. But I wouldn't have created this. I wouldn't have gotten here had I never let go. So to the girl who won't let go, hear my words, let them sink in. Believe me until you can believe it for yourself, and reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok at Coach Kate DeRocher, or head to my website, CoachKateDeRocher.com, fill out my coaching application, and let's get on a call. Let's chat. Let's find that strength for you. I'm here for you. And remember that by listening to this podcast, you have the opportunity to get 10% off of my Wildly Capable for Women's Retreat happening this Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 2nd in Texas. It's going to be in Dripping Springs, Texas. It's at a luxury Airbnb with like an infinity pool overlooking hill country. It's crazy. So if you are a woman who's ready to let go, who's ready to heal, who's ready to step into the life that she was created for, this retreat was quite literally created for you. So head to my website, use code RETREAT to get 10% off, and I will see you in Texas over Labor Day weekend. I cannot wait to meet you. I appreciate every single one of you who's listened to this. This podcast was completely off the cuff. I have absolutely nothing written for this. I just tried to speak from the heart, and I hope that it resonates with some of you. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope to see you at my retreat. I hope to see you in my email and my DMs. Fill out my coaching application or send me a message. And let's start coaching you through this. Let's start getting you through this difficult situation. All right. Thank you all for listening in. Love you guys. And I will be here next week again. Who knows what the topic will be? I'm going to find something else that just has been tugging at my heart to speak to again. So thanks for tuning in. And I will see you here next time on Wildly Capable with Kate.